three children to come forward to share memories of their dad. Please be seated.
Good afternoon, everyone. What a privilege it is to gather. What a privilege it is to celebrate and remember Dad. So, our memories of Dad. How do you sum up kind of so many memories? But one of the key memories is his ties. And we're all wearing, well, Dan, Mike and other Dan there, all wearing one of Dad's ties. And I think he would have been proud about how smart we look. Especially me, I don't usually look this smart. So, but so many memories. How do we sum them up? How do you sum up a loving, caring, faithful Dad? And these are just a few snapshots, tiny moments in time that have lasted over the years. I remember Dad and the holidays that we went to Cornwall with Mike and I when we were small. We used to drive from Bromley to near St Ives in a red Hillman Avenger. It used to take about 11 hours, I think. And every year it seemed, the car broke down. And I remember the AA man, and I thought he was part of the holiday. And I particularly remember Dad's love of the sea. And one time we were on Porthwillow Beach in St Ives, it's just down from St Ives Head, between that head and the town. We used to call it the Island Beach. And I must have been about 5 or 6, and we were exploring the rock pools, and we were building sandcastles, and we were having a tide fight. And I don't know if you've ever been to that beach, but the backdrop is Godrevy Lighthouse. It is beautiful. And we had some small plastic spades, and we were digging and we were doing our best. And Dad turned up with a garden spade. I love that. That's a man with vision and ambition. And when we moved to Cornwall, Caroline and I, and Dan and Lydia, about 3 years ago, the estate agent gave us a picture. And it was a picture taken at dawn from Porthwillow Beach. I really like that. And then Mike and I must have been about 12 or 13, and we were visiting Walcott in Norfolk on holiday. The sea was rough, the waves were big, and with just a nod to health and safety, Dad tied a piece of string, or it felt like a piece of string, to his wrist and to the inflatable dinghy me and Mike were in. And Dad would push us into the waves. We'd go crashing into these waves, and I still have this image of Mike jumping out of the boat, and his legs like a little frog. He's grown since then. But Dad kept pushing us through those crashing waves, again and again, laughing and joking. And I remember that infectious smile. I remember walking with Dad before and after his stroke on Waxham Beach. It was not far from where Mum and Dad lived in Norfolk. But I remember walking on that beach on crystal clear sunny mornings with the dogs, just chatting, just spending time together. And before I hand over to Mike, I remember this. Dad's determination and enthusiasm in getting a project finished, even when he couldn't do it himself. And just a few years ago, this led me to lay a patio on Christmas Day morning. You can imagine it, can't you? Dad issuing instructions. Let's put that one there, Dave. More sand and cement, Dave. Oh, that's brilliant, Dave. Well done. That is great. I can still hear Dad's voice and the intonation within it. I'm so grateful for Dad's kindness, his care, his love, and his support, and his encouragement that was still evident in our last phone call together, just a few short weeks ago. I will miss Dad's enthusiasm for life, a life well lived. But most of all, we will remember Dad's passion for his God, his family, and for life itself. Thank you, Dad.
As Dave just said, many, many memories. Really difficult to go and choose just a few for this morning. My first one, though, is titled, We Are Sailing. We Are Sailing. We might get a bit of a nautical theme coming through here. One summer, we were using our sailing boat on Hickling Broad in Norfolk, and we're having a great time. We weren't exactly Olympic standard, but we were making a good fist of tacking and jiving. Dad knew all the phrases, but I'm not entirely convinced he knew exactly what they meant. Not that it ever stopped him giving commands with his captain's hat on. All was going well until we tried another turn, or a jibe if you're nautical. A sudden strong gust of wind caught the sail, and in slow motion we keeled over. Dad and I ended up in the murky depths, while Dave managed to climb over the hull onto the keel and didn't even get wet. Dad and I then had to put the boat up the right way, climb back in, looking very, very bedraggled. Dave was very proud of the fact that he stayed bone dry. We said next time he'd be the one doing the backstroke in the pool. A second memory. This one's called art school. Dad and I would spend many happy hours drawing the landscape around Waxham Beach in Norfolk. We would use these drawings to create different artworks in collage, paint or pastel. These were very special times with Dad, and I would love to share them with him. He'd share his expertise on how to draw and paint. Indeed, I probably learned more from Dad's teaching than I did through 3 years at art school. Many of these artworks were shown in a successful Bailey exhibition, where various members of the Bailey clan hired a space to display their work. It ranged from drawings and paintings to ceramics and photography. A talented bunch, and commissions are always welcome. You can forget this. Dancing diva. Dad always loved a good party. We had many, I can see Frida looking at me now, and Chris. We had many fabulous New Year's Eve parties at Hickling, where fireworks were let off and the dancing went on into the small hours. Friends slept where they could, and cooked breakfast awaited in the morning. Dad was always generous in his hospitality and ready to welcome friends into the warmth of his home. Dad really enjoyed showing his best moves, although I'm not sure that Strictly would have phoned any time soon. Seeing his dancing to Status Quo and ABBA have left an indelible memory, which I will always treasure. Dad's sheer joy, warmth, positivity, and enthusiasm for life were truly infectious. I think he's definitely dancing in heaven right now, and probably painting an enormous canvas. I will miss your big bear hugs and big kisses. Love you, Dad.
So obviously, like Mike and Dave, I have so many memories of Dad. Like you've probably already picked up, he was such a positive life force. He would always seem to build up and encourage. In good and in difficult times, he would often quote Julian of Norwich to Mum and me. All shall be well. He never, ever complained, even when life was difficult for him. Even in the care home, it would be him telling us to cheer up and oh, don't worry, love. He would tell me constantly of the great love he had for Mum, and indeed for each one of us. Dad was generous in time, love and spirit. And, as you probably have already picked up, his enthusiasm and sense of fun was infectious. I always remember him critiquing our artwork as he had done with his students. Move from the shoulder! Make those marks confident! And this is amazing! But there was always a but to make it better. He was also a fiercely determined and courageous man. I remember the time after his first major stroke as he lay in his hospital bed, unable to walk. He took my hand, squeezed it, and looked into my eyes, and quietly told me that he was determined to walk again. But more than that, he promised me that on my wedding day, later that year, he would walk me down the aisle without the aid of a walking stick or a walking frame. And he did. I'm not sure who was more proud that day, him of me, or me of him. So many people, in their beautiful cards and messages, have spoken of Dad's wonderful singing. I remember special times playing in the music group in Stalin with him, where he enjoyed playing his djembe drums so enthusiastically, despite never having any formal lessons. And then Natalie of his singing here in the church services in Aiken. He had the ability to carry a congregation with him, regardless of whether or not he was singing the right tune, or indeed the right words. After he died, something that touched us all was learning that even during his most challenging times in the care home, his spirit and sense of life was still very much alive. The carers told us how on a Sunday morning he would turn the Sunday morning service up, full blast, and tell everyone to join in and sing with him. What life, inspiration, and faith. And on that final evening, as we were gathered round Dad's bed, whilst there was pain, there was also joy and a deep sense that such was the strength of Dad's faith. He was going home. As Gabriella, my daughter told me with absolute, utter belief. Don't worry, Mummy. Papa's dancing with the angels now. Once again, I was reminded of Julian at Norwich, Dad's voice ringing out. All shall be well. All shall be well. And all manner of things shall be well.
Thank you very much. Wasn't there a lot of joy